Stop making sim racing setup mistakes. And by sim racing setup, I mean like your sim rig or however you sit with your wheel and your pedals. Stop making mistakes there, because it's probably those mistakes that are costing you time. You're probably not a slow driver. It's probably your sim rig that is the mistake. So in this video, I'm going to show you the perfect setup. It's going to be relevant whether you're sim racing on your wheel clamped to a desk, pedals on the carpet, or you've got an aluminium extrusion sim rig, or you've got a wheel stand. Whatever you've got, this video is going to be relevant for you. So let's jump into it. The reason why I've set up this sim rig like this for me is mainly centered around three things. So I'll do the first two and I'll tell you the last thing as well. The first thing for me is braking, and this comes from my background actually racing for real, so doing a lot of karting in the UK where braking is very important. Racing in real life, braking is different because you have to be brave when you brake. Your whole body is telling you brake now, and you have to hold off, and then when you hit the brake, you have to hit it hard, okay? So what happens with this sim rig is, when I get on the brake, have a look at my body. It's not going to move as much as you think. So my body just really is not moving that much. And if you have a look at where the power is coming on the brake, it's coming through my butt into the seat. You'll actually see me like rise in the seat a little bit, going through my knee, but not too much. Not too much in the knee. I see sim racing setups and like, don't do that. You're going to regret it later in life. Coming through my ankle, little bit of movement in the ankle, and a really comfortable way to apply a lot of force. I am genuinely applying a lot of force on that brake. Like, these are the new Fanatec podium pedals with all elastomers. Like that is a stiff brake, and I'm putting a ton of pressure through it. And actually the reason I refined this setup was to maximize that brake, because there's no point having that brake, in my opinion, unless I'm going to maximize it. So the learning lessons here, and if my pedal was higher, okay, and you can see on the playseat cockpit on the left, there are slots that this could go higher. When I brake, look what's going to happen to my knee, right? And some people might think, you know, your pedal should be higher, like that. I think like that, you're going to put too much pressure downwards on your knee. So as you're applying a lot of force to go into your ankle and your foot and the pedal, it's going to come and lock into this knee, and I don't like that. I don't like that for the ligaments. It doesn't feel comfortable. I've never raced like that in real life. Not a fan of that. So that's why here the pedals are maybe a little bit lower than you might expect. Now this is good news if you're on a normal aluminium extrusion rig, not like a Formula cockpit, or you're on carpet, because you again don't want to be exerting that knee, and that's going to be difficult to do. However, what you also don't want to do, if I had the pedals like here maybe, and then that was like a final resting position, there'd be a lot more going on in my ankle. That's going to put a lot of strain on my ankle and my ligaments, like in my shin, basically, and that's going to get tiring. The way I've got this, I could race forever like this, honestly. I've done an 8-hour stint before for charity, like I could do an 8-hour stint here. The other thing is, what a lot of people get wrong on these sort of cockpits, if you have a look at how the slots are angled on the left next to my foot, this cockpit encourages you to slant up the pedals. Now, if I slant up the pedals, my foot is going to start like this, and I'm going to get there to be on full brake. Now, there to full brake is actually probably fine in terms of like the angle of my foot. But if I'm starting here, I'm going to tense up. I'm not going to have the control, including on my throttle. Like here, I don't even need to think about the throttle. It's just so relaxed, and I've got a heavy spring on it. It's super relaxed. But this is like optimal on the brake. So have a look at my body here again as I go on the brake. You can see muscles working down here, coming into my butt. You can see I can still carry on talking. I'm not overexerting. I'm just using the natural strong muscles in my body. You know, when I review pedals, I review a lot of pedals. When I'm unboxing them, I'll press them and move them. It's incredible. If you try and press this brake pedal with your hand and your arm, nothing will happen. It will not move at all. Like, you need big muscles. It's like a bench press. You need to be, or leg press, you need to be doing like that. So that's the first thing, okay? Really, really, really important. So try and adjust for that as you're on aluminium cockpit, etc. As your butt goes up and higher as you sit on a normal GT chair or an office chair, whatever, that also think how your legs are going to come down and angled, and how you're going to want to, facilitate this sort of angle, but like with your upper body starting a different position. Hopefully that makes sense. I have videos as well of me like in different GT configurations. By the way, if you want to buy any sim racing equipment, please use my affiliate links in the description if I've helped you out. It's like the best way of helping me out for making these guides. Right, next thing, steering wheel. Now, I know a lot of people who don't know about sim racing, but like, why is the steering wheel so high up and why are your arms so bent? Trust me, I've driven single-seater race cars and this is just absolutely fantastic. Like, it's just so good. Like, I can go around Monaco hairpin like this. You know, some drivers, when I interview them, they say they like double wind it, which is kind of like crazy. But I've got absolute flexibility. Critically, and this is really important if you're in a GT rim, when you're off the brake and throttle, make sure that you can turn this wheel. You can imagine if my wheel was further back. In fact, let's do it. Let's do it. Why don't we? Let's do it live. Okay. My wheel was further back. I'll just leave it there. You can see now that my knee is hitting the wheel deck. Yeah. Don't know if you can hear it. And also when I turn the wheel here, I'm actually hitting my thigh, which I hate. I've hated that in sim racing since day one. I will always very finely adjust to avoid that. And I don't like it when I go to events or I'm invited to do like, you know, influencer racing on a rig or something, and a rig is just set up like this. I'm like, oh my days. Okay, so I really like setting up rigs. We move this forward again, where I can actually rotate freely. So here I can rotate it freely, and you can do minor adjustments, but basically you want to do some wizardry to make sure that you can bend your leg, you're not going to hit the cockpit. You can imagine here, like the vision when you get your field of view right in a cockpit car, like I'm just looking straight over this wheel. Even in this field of view in a GT car, it's like looking pretty much straight over the cockpit, which is fantastic. You see my hand just comes over there in the game, which is pretty similar to my hands in real life. But bear in mind, don't be afraid if your hands come up higher, because when your hands are coming up high, you're going to be going around the corner. So when you're going to be going around the corner, you're going to be looking either side, so it's not going to be a problem. Right, let's see me get on the brakes here at La Source and then going around Eau Rouge. You can also see there'll be a brake trace at the top. Now I can't see my gear really clearly, but I have it on my wheel luckily. So this is one for the people that say, oh, you don't need a screen on the wheel. Actually, I find that really helpful. If I'm coming down for 6th gear to 1st gear at La Source, I want to make sure that I've got that right. Where's the Corvette going? Instant ahead. Okay, we're going to come into Les Combes and we're going to absolutely smash these brakes, brothers. Oh my days. See, this is where you want the ergonomics, because I've got enough to think about here. Oh, I thought there might be one more around the outside of the Ferrari. I've got enough to think about, so I need my ergonomics to match up perfectly. Now, I am effectively in the bucket seat here as well, which is fantastic. Bucket seats are one of my, you know, most recommended upgrades. Cold tyres, not as much grip. It's tricky around there. So I genuinely recommend picking, if you're already on a sim rig and you're thinking, oh my days, mate, you're already thinking, how do I improve that? You can see here with the bucket seat how I'm just able to brake so much more consistently. There's no point having a rock solid brake plate, in my opinion, if you're on a reclining chair with a lot of flex. This one's from Placey. You can look at the ones at GT Omega, get a 5% off there with the code Kireth. You can look at Fanatec's ones, 5% off there using code Kireth as well. So just check all the discounts. In terms of flex on the pedal plate, this is something with like a camera often, you can look at it, because I review a lot of stuff. I have cameras pointed, and I can see like, oh, the plate might be flexing a little bit, but I feel like you don't really know it. When I'm driving a real car or driving a kart, I'm sure there's flex there, but you just kind of adjust to it. It's more like when you push back into your seat, that's like an actual, I need that resistance in order for me to be strong. Now let's brake into the bus stop here. Quick glance at the wheel for 1st gear. Oh, too much on that curb. But you could see there, like, so easy to get on that brake and modulate it. Like, not out of breath, not a struggle whatsoever. Let's try again. Super easy. So the ergonomics of this just make driving easy. And I can concentrate on the driving, and I can think, okay, I want to brake a bit later at Lokim, I want to brake a bit earlier and try and get a better rhythm through the corners, and I'm not second guessing what's going to happen almost biomechanically. Now, this is top of the range equipment, Fanatec podium base, podium pedals, Clubsport rim, but it's exactly the same when I'm on entry level stuff, and I'm on the stuff that I've bought, like the Fanatec V3s that I bought, exactly the same that I used for years. The third thing is about having your screen in the right position. The further back your screen is, basically, the more difficult it's going to be for you to be immersed. And there's science behind that from field of view, but I just feel like just also emotionally, it's more difficult for you to be immersed. So try and bring the monitor as close as you can. I have setups where I have the monitor like actually sitting here. This Fanatec podium base comes in the box with a shaft extension, so you could literally get the monitor here if you wanted, and that would just be a ton more immersive. If you imagine, I'd have more field of view, I'd have to adjust that in iRacing, but it's just like more engrossing. I'm using this monitor here, which is much better here than a TV. If I had a TV here, which I have on the rig behind, then I wouldn't be able to get it anywhere near as close. So hopefully you found that helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have. If you want me to do more videos on maybe different setups, I can do that, like GT setups, etc. And I'll see you in the next video.